Good morning, everybody, and welcome to The Balancing Act. We are so glad you joined us this morning. I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Olga Viaverdi. Today, we've got solutions for women who are on the go and suffer from OAB or overactive bladder. Great information as we wrap up our three-part series.
And speaking of good information, we'll be talking about prostate help for your fella.
Plus, financial advice we could all use when a loved one unfortunately gets sick. The Balancing Act starts right now.
The financial implications of getting sick with serious illness are so often gut-wrenching, and the last thing anyone, including immediate family, should be worried about when either we or a loved one gets seriously ill is lack of adequate money during this trying time. With us today to discuss practical financial options when serious illness strikes is Lee Berman. Lee is the Vice President of Policy Services and Chief Settlement Advisor with Asset Funding Corporation. Welcome, Lee. It's so great to have you.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
And this is a very important topic we're discussing today. And you know, why are so many people in the population not prepared or not equipped to handle the financial burdens that accompany life-threatening illnesses?
Well, Julie, that's a great question. I think there are probably two reasons for that. Number one is that no one can really be prepared and can expect to be diagnosed with something like cancer or Lou Gehrig's disease.
True.
So there's no way to prepare for that financially. The second thing is I think people just don't realize that when you have this type of diagnosis and you're going through treatment, financially you're not going to be in the same place as you were before. For many people, they have to miss significant time from work.
Right.
The income doesn't come in anymore, but they still are required to make their house payment, their car payment, put food on the table. So those are probably the two main reasons.
You know, Lee, a phrase in subject matter you know well, but most of us have never heard of, I had not, is viatical settlements. I mean, what are they?
Well, a viatical settlement is basically the sale of an existing life insurance policy from the policy owner to a third party for cash. In every case, less than the death benefit, but more than the cash surrender value of the policy.
Wow. Tell us what Asset Funding Corp is doing to make viatical settlements a viable option for those with life insurance policies who are dealing with life-threatening illnesses.
Well, for over 10 years, Asset Funding Corporation has been working with people who've been either diagnosed with this type of illness or their family members, caregivers, or their financial advisors to make a viatical settlement an option for them. And what we do is either directly or through our website at sellyourinsurance.com, we provide the tools to do an evaluation of the policy, look at things like their premiums, the history and the rules of the policies, as well as their medical condition. And by gathering all this information, we can give them options. We can educate them about the options in their policy. They might have options that they're not aware of. And one of those options very well could be that Asset Funding Corporation can make them an offer to actually buy the policy from them and get them that much needed cash.
Now, do all life insurance policy holders qualify? How does that work?
Well, in order to qualify for a viatical settlement, you do have to have been diagnosed with one of these illnesses that we're talking about.
So if this is cancer, Lou Gehrig's, something
heart
disease,
kidney
AIDS,
disease.
Correct. Yeah, okay.
But you do have to have one of these illnesses to qualify for a viatical settlement. A perfectly healthy person in their 40s or 50s would not qualify.
Now, for people not familiar, like I was not with viaticals, what should be the primary reasons for considering this type of option?
For most people in this situation, the financial stress that they're going through is the most important thing. And what we strive to do is to get them the cash that they need to relieve that financial stress, put the cash in their pockets to help them pay for, again, all of these day-to-day expenses that they're dealing with.
And are there common misconceptions out there regarding this financial tool?
Yes, there are a number of misconceptions in what we do. The first is that most people think that you have to have been given a terminal diagnosis in order to qualify, and that's just not true.
Really?
You can have a longer life expectancy than less than 1 or 2 years to qualify for a viatical settlement. The second is that most people think you need a permanent or whole life insurance policy in order to sell the policy. In fact, the majority of the policies that we buy are term policies or group policies, group policy being one through your job.
Wow. And as the use of viatical settlements has increased over time, how has the approach evolved?
Well, the viatical settlement industry really started in the late 70s and early 80s when HIV and the AIDS epidemic started in our country. And at the time, people were looking for additional money to pay for treatments that weren't covered by their health insurance.
Right.
And selling a life insurance policy became a good option for them. But over the years, the industry has expanded into illnesses such as cancer, heart disease, and kidney failure.
All right, final question for you, Lee. As a specialist, what advice would you give people who are considering this?
The most important thing is to get educated, not only on your current financial situation and the assets that you might have, but also what your options are. What we offer at Asset Funding Corporation is a complete evaluation of the life insurance policy to let them know what all of their options are with the policy, including if they have the option to sell the policy. And at that point, they can make an educated decision and do what's in their best interest and the best interest of their families.
Wow, this was such an important topic. Thank you so much for coming by today. I mean, there's so many with serious illnesses out there that have no idea that this exists.
It was my pleasure, and thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. And if you're a holder of a life insurance policy and you'd like to learn more about the financial options for life-threatening illnesses, visit us at thebalancingact.com or log on to Facebook/The Balancing Act Fans.
September is National Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. According to the American Cancer Society, 1 in 6 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, and over 200,000 men will receive a prostate cancer diagnosis this year. And more than 30,000 will die from this condition. Joining us this morning to shed light on this very important topic are Dr. Michael J. Zacharias, a board-certified urologist in private practice in the North Shore, Boston area, and Dr. Fernando J. Bianco, a urologist practicing at Doctors Hospital and head of Urological Research Network, both based in Miami, Florida. Good morning, doctor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Olga. Nice for having us.
Dr. Zacharias, let me start with you. What are some typical symptoms a man with an abnormal prostate may notice or experience?
Well, typically, prostate cancer doesn't show signs or symptoms. It doesn't show it, unfortunately, until it's too late.
Really?
But people with a large prostate, as all men get old enough, they usually experience symptoms. Symptoms include slow stream, nighttime voiding, which certainly bothers men, urgency, where it's difficult to hold the urination, going frequently, starting and stopping, standing by the toilet, waiting for the stream to start. So usually we focus on treating symptoms once it bothers men. Bothers them enough to seek treatment.
And Dr. Bianco, can men prevent prostate cancer?
Not really, not that we know of. I mean, the association of prostate cancer is mostly with risk factors such as African American race or a family history of prostate cancer. But you can try to have the best nutrition possible to the prostate itself to try to kind of slow or regulate their growth. And unfortunately, you can't do that with your typical diet. So that's why, we have focused on a nutritional blend that can give the best nutrients they are for the prostate itself to try to keep it as healthy as we can.
And speaking of healthy, Dr. Zacharias, for healthy guys, how early is too early to be prostate smart?
Well, as I mentioned, since symptoms don't usually occur till later, earlier is better. And as Dr. Bianco pointed out, sometimes it's your family history, it's your age, it's your African American. So we develop prostatection simply because, as Dr. Bianco mentioned, diets are just not good enough for getting all the supplements you need. So we designed a supplement prostatection for that.
And what makes this product, Dr. Bianco, let's say different from so many that are out there?
Research.
Okay.
We did extensive research to develop prostatection. It was designed by 3 physicians, and we focus on a ingredient that have like beta-cytosterol that has the 1,000 times more power than the typical saw palmetto that people talk in the blends, et cetera, et cetera. Also, Phrygium africanum that regulates the growth of cells. So that's where we have the difference between this blend and what's out there.
Dr. Zacharias, I know you had your hand in this. Would you like to share some information also?
Well, as Dr. Bianco said, the 2 urologists that developed are right here, and which is which makes us stand out amongst all other supplements on the market, is that we did the research, we put together the products, we put together the antioxidants, and we decided what goes into control the prostate growth, which overall is what men can try and control.
And where is the product available?
Currently, it's available at goodprostatehealth.com.
And Dr. Bianco, I'm going to end with you. Awareness, huge, right?
Huge. This is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. We encourage all men to take action, and there are women too,
and we can save lives. Thank you, so much, doctors.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. And if you'd like to have more information on this very important topic, visit us at thebalancingact.com. That's thebalancingact.com. Or sharpen up your social skills by logging on to Facebook/The Balancing Act fans.
Overactive bladder is a very common condition in both men and women, more common than you might think, especially in women. Unfortunately, as few as 1 in 8 women seek help from their doctor. Today, in our final installment of this special Health Matters series, we're learning how some women are coping with this very real problem while traveling and on the road.
I love my job, but I don't love the long commute. Traffic can be very unpredictable, and there's nothing worse than sitting on the highway when your bladder is screaming for you to pull over and go, or should I say stop.
Now that I'm retired, I love traveling far and near, but with an overactive bladder, it's so hard for me. I have to worry about where the next bathroom is going to be, and it takes so much fun out of all of my adventures.
Amy and Jennifer are experiencing overactive bladder. It's not a disease, but a real medical condition that affects an estimated 1 in 3 women.
This can be seen in women over 45, and many times it's a combination of several things that promote this as time goes on. Earlier lifestyles such as sports that we played, starting a family as time goes on, all of this contributes to some degree of this condition.
I know it's important to stay hydrated, but when I leave my house in the morning, I never know how many bathroom stops I'm going to have. It's especially bad in the morning when I need that big cup of coffee.
I'll never forget that day when my flight was delayed and we had to sit on the runway for hours. The feeling was unbearable. The urge to go was unbearable. I don't know how I ever made it through. Having to go all the time was becoming part of my daily routine.
One of the most common symptoms that I hear is the patient will come in and they'll say, oh, every time I go out, I feel like I have to use every restroom in town. Or they'll tell me that they have to get up 3 or 4 times during the evening, and it's interfering with their sleep. They have to allow for it in their daily schedule. And then I'll ask them, how long has this been going on? And they'll get into the history. Well, it's really progressive over the last couple of years, but most recently it's really starting to interfere with my life.
Both Amy and Jennifer sought help from their doctor.
This condition can be seen in women over 45. And the most important thing is for women individually to realize that this condition is developing and not to wait too long. Start off seeing your primary care physician or your OBGYN, and if necessary, they will refer you to a urologist for a complete evaluation.
It's important to be properly diagnosed by a doctor. You don't want to guess at something this vital to your health and lifestyle. Luckily, there are several medications now available that are helping women with overactive bladder everywhere.
I take 1 pill once a day, that's it. I can go places and not have to worry as much. Isn't that what retiring is all about?
I'm on medication too, and it helps me manage my symptoms so that I can focus on my day. I can get from my house to work without stopping. I don't need as many bathroom breaks. I didn't know this could be treated.
There are several lifestyle changes that can occur. During the evaluation that your physician will be going into, he'll talk about what substances you like to drink, soda, coffee, and if simple behavioral modifications don't change that, then you would go on to medications that would help.
And overactive bladder doesn't have to slow you down when you're on the go. Want to learn more? Log on to thebalancingact.com.
It's everyday gourmet time, and what better way to celebrate every day than with warm, wholesome food? Our series continues with the ever-popular ramen noodle, and today's menu looks excellent. What do you say? Shall we start with brunch?
Hey, it's brunch time. How about some Marichal noodle bowls with our eggs?
Why not?
Okay.
Noodle bowls are not just for lunch or dinner, they actually go great with eggs. Using your flavor packets according to instructions, microwave your bowls for 3 minutes.
So, my dear, what would you like to do this evening?
You know what? I think I want to go to the movies tonight.
Movies.
While the bowls are in the microwave, scramble 2 eggs for each of you and cook a few strips of bacon. When the bowls are done, top each with 2 scrambled eggs, a little crumbled bacon, and your favorite herbs. Set a romantic mood with mimosas. Now, that's a new twist on egg drop soup.
Cheers.
Here's another anytime idea when you're hungry. Maruchan noodles make delicious macaroni salads, great for a camping trip or even a picnic. Now, depending on the size of your adventure, make 2 or more bowls of ramen noodles. Microwave according to directions. Pour the noodles into a portable container. Mix in some diced red pepper, snap peas, carrots, and celery. Add a few grape or cherry tomatoes. Stir in mayonnaise or your favorite salad dressing to taste. You can refrigerate your macaroni salad overnight or add it directly to your cooler. Prefer to keep your meal warm? Just put your favorite noodle recipes in thermal containers. Enjoy. Need a midnight snack? Mix your ramen noodles with bits of leftover turkey for a melatonin twist. Good night's sleep. Here you come. I wouldn't have thought of some of those. What great ideas for enjoying noodles anytime you're hungry. Now head to Maruchan.com for more delicious ideas on how to use ramen noodles. And you can find Maruchan ramen noodles in the soup aisle of your local supermarket. And don't forget to check out our website, thebalancingact.com.
Thanks so much for spending part of your morning with us. We hope you learned a little something. Remember, we've got lots more on our website, thebalancingact.com.
And we're on Facebook and Twitter. Look us up there anytime. And remember to always find your balance.
So long, everybody.